I believe that our film opening does demonstrate conventions successfully. After examination and analysis of our genre of crime and thriller, we noted the generic conventions often found in these films and attempted to integrate them into our own piece. This meant we could create the feel we wanted for the film. The first shot used in our opening was a long panning shot of a room. We wanted this long shot to tell a story to the audience through Mies. Every object on screen was carefully constructed and planned by the team. For example, the photos displayed on the wall and the books scattered across the room demonstrate our character's further knowledge of wider cultures and inspiration for his violent actions. The longevity of the shot is interesting, unexpected, and challenges the generic convention of thriller films by building up tension. It introduces the audience to the setting, a claustrophobic, dark and sinister room. This is a great introduction, as these themes will later be projected in the film's remainder. The slow camera movement was chosen as we wanted the audience to take in the environment and watch as the pace of the film slowly builds up further into the opening. Our research had shown us that crime and thriller films are often violent or have connotations of fear and danger. Therefore, we thought these were vital to include in our piece. The close-ups are a simple way in which we can show the audience the violence that will eventually occur. This creates suspense, another connotation associated with thriller films. I personally thought it would be a great idea to have the shot of blood dripping from the character's finger onto the photograph, foreshadowing this character's death. This tells a story to the audience without explicitly telling them. These extreme close-ups also involve the audience more. It keeps to the claustrophobic feel in previous shots and lets them see the gritty and violent world the film takes place in. Many close-up shots were used during the film opening. This is to give the audience the point of view of the main protagonist, and it allows the audience to see the focal points of the table to ensure a clear story and not to cause confusion. The cutting between close and wider shots gave us a great base for which we could put titles over in post-production, which resulted in a successful running of titles. A huge portion of our time on set was spent transforming an ordinary bedroom into an interesting and believable environment for the audience. It was arguably the main focus of the shoot. The messy environment was vital to us to creating a successful scene, as we had seen that in many crime films, Mies is prioritised in order to create a believable and interesting story. With regards to colouring, the film was first shot in colour but altered to black and white during post-production. We thought this suited the genre a lot better as it fit in with the tone of the film. We were taking a lot of inspiration from film noir during our planning, and we loved the idea of the contrast between light and dark to represent the struggle between good and evil. This also was a common theme in our piece, which is why we decided on the black and white style in the end. This contrast is seen throughout the piece and was intentional as we thought it fitted in with the story, themes of evil and wrongdoings, and the constant conflict between good and evil. This conflict is another common theme in thrillers we wanted to use. It would also make the piece look more traditional and would stand out from other modern films. I would like to compare our film to V for Vendetta, as the two follow a similar genre and story. They're each set in a dystopian British future in which an individual leads a revolution against its corrupt leaders. They both involve dark themes and violence, which was intentional as we wanted to replicate the generic conventions and ideas used in this mainstream film. One example of an idea we used was that the main character's face is kept anonymous from the audience. This way it draws the audience in as they want to learn more about them and why they choose not to show their face. We also recognised the dark and eerie look of the film and how it replicates the tone of the story, which is part of the reason why we chose to have our film in black and white, as it fit better with our story and themes.